Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, reach for your phone, and nothing. No Instagram, no YouTube, no email, not even Google. Not just in your house, not just in your city. The entire world is offline. The internet has completely disappeared. For 24 hours, billions of people are forced to live without the very thing that powers our modern world. So, what exactly would happen if the internet suddenly vanished for a single day? Let's take a deep dive into the chaos, the surprises, and maybe even the hidden benefits of a world without the web. The first few hours, confusion and panic. In the first hour, most people would simply assume there's a glitch. Maybe the Wi-Fi router needs a restart. Maybe their phone data plan ran out. But within minutes, reality sets in. Social media won't load. Google Maps refuses to work. Banking apps crash instantly. The internet, the lifeline of modern communication, is gone. People who rely on messaging apps like WhatsApp, Messenger, or Telegram suddenly find themselves cut off from family and friends. Businesses that depend on Teams, Slack, or Zoom for meetings can't function. And let's not even start on people who work remotely. They're left completely stranded. By the second hour, news outlets would be scrambling to figure out what's happening. With no internet, they'd have to rely on television, radio, and printed news again. Streets might get noisier with people gathering at cafes or community spots, simply trying to understand the situation through word of mouth. For younger generations, especially teenagers who grew up connected 24/7, it would feel like the world has stopped turning. The financial meltdown. By the third hour, the real economic shock begins. Banks and ATMs freeze. Credit cards stop working because they rely on online transaction systems. Stock markets? Completely paralyzed. Billions of dollars in trades that normally move every second suddenly grind to a halt. Experts estimate that a single day without internet could cost the world tens of billions of dollars. And yet, in local communities, something strange happens. Cash suddenly becomes king again. People who have a few bills in their wallet become more powerful than those who rely on digital wallets and online banking. For the first time in years, physical money makes a comeback. Travel and transportation chaos. Now let's talk about travel. By hour 6, airports are in chaos. Ticketing systems rely on the internet. Boarding passes, flight schedules, baggage tracking, everything needs connectivity. Planes already in the air can land safely, but planning new routes, buying tickets, or rescheduling flights becomes nearly impossible. On the roads, GPS systems fail. Drivers relying on apps like Google Maps or Waze find themselves lost. Traffic lights that depend on smart systems malfunction, causing congestion in major cities. Shipping and logistics, which are the backbone of global trade, face massive disruption. Cargo ships waiting for clearance can't proceed. Trucking companies can't track deliveries. Supermarkets may not get restocked in time. All of this happens within the first 12 hours, and people are starting to panic. Human reactions, fear versus relief. Now, not everyone reacts with fear. For some, the sudden silence feels refreshing. Families spend more time together, talking instead of scrolling. Parents actually play with their kids without distraction. Neighbors knock on each other's doors to chat, something rare in today's hyper-connected world. But for others, it's terrifying. College students lose access to online classes. Hospitals struggle without electronic records and online communication with specialists. Even basic things like refilling a prescription become complicated. And let's not forget about entertainment. No Netflix, no Spotify, no TikTok. People are forced to rediscover older forms of fun, board games, books, even going outside for a walk. Governments and security concerns. Behind the scenes, governments across the world are scrambling. Is this a cyber attack? Is it sabotage? Or is it a catastrophic technical failure? Security agencies activate emergency protocols, fearing that enemy nations or powerful hackers may be responsible. Military bases that rely on online systems switch to backup communication methods like radio. Emergency services struggle to coordinate, since many of their operations depend on online mapping and digital databases. Imagine being in an ambulance with no access to hospital records. That's the kind of danger doctors and paramedics would face. The unexpected positives. Strangely enough, some good things happen too. Cybercrime vanishes overnight. No phishing emails, no hacking, no identity theft. Online trolls disappear because, well, the platforms they use don't exist for a day. People in therapy for internet addiction suddenly get a full detox, whether they like it or not. In local communities, people turn back to analog solutions. Old landline phones become useful again. Radio stations suddenly have huge audiences. Libraries and bookstores get a rare moment of attention. In a strange way, life slows down, something many people secretly wish for. The return of the internet. Finally, after 24 hours, the internet suddenly comes back online. The digital world flickers back to life. Phones buzz with thousands of missed messages. Social media platforms light up with memes, reactions, and wild stories of how people survived the blackout. But the aftermath is mixed. Some companies lose millions, others completely collapse. Businesses rethink their dependence on cloud services. Governments debate creating backup offline systems. And ordinary people ask themselves a big question: are we too dependent on the internet? So, what would happen if the internet disappeared for just one day? Chaos, panic, financial loss, but also a chance to reconnect with the real world. Maybe it would be a reminder that technology is powerful, but life is bigger than the screen in our pocket. The real question is, if this ever happens, would you survive it, or would you feel completely lost? Let me know in the comments what you would do if the internet vanished tomorrow.